All right, today on Merch University, we have Kelli Roberts, and she's going to be talking about Createspace and how you can use your previous merch designs to upload to blank document books. I'm still pretty new at this, so hello, Kelli. How are you doing today?
Hi, good. How are you? Thanks for chatting with me.
Yeah, can you kind of explain more what this Create Blank Journals is?
Sure. It's also known as, you might hear people say low content books, no content books, but it's pretty much interiors that don't need a lot of writing. So if anyone out there hates writing, I know I do, this is perfect. You know, it includes lines, sketchbooks, or I should say blank line journals, sketchbooks, even coloring books if you like to draw, log books, guest books. People love to party, right? The
Yeah.
list goes on and on. So, and I have not checked the facts, but journals are everywhere. So it's at least $1 million industry, if not billion. So there's so much opportunity, which gets me so excited.
Yeah, I was at Hobby Lobby the other day, and just because I've been kind of interested in, I already uploaded a couple books. I was looking, it stopped me like their little section of journal books, and I was looking at them. I was like, oh, these are so cool, and I was kind of getting some ideas for like what I could do. So it was really neat.
Oh my gosh, I have my picture or my phone everywhere. I
Yeah.
have so many pictures in here of stuff I see. So it's fun. It's just like Birch. Ideas are everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, they are, and so I was excited to learn about them and stuff, and so yeah, and
Cool.
I tried Kindle a long time ago, and that was so hard. Like, oh man, I got to write all these words, I got to do all this, then I got to make a cover, and I was like, man, this was before merch too, and I was like,
Yeah.
but now like the whole no content, low content is yeah, it's an awesome opportunity. So.
Oh, it is. I remember those Kindle days. I hired outsourced writers, and this is much easier.
Yeah, way easier. Actually, the coloring books. How do I understand how to do the journals, but how do people go about doing the coloring books, or getting that?
I manipulated. I haven't done a coloring book for a couple years, and
Hmm.
I stopped doing them because my sales weren't good. So
Yeah.
I just manipulated some images on Photoshop. I mean, I'm sure people who draw can maybe scan in the images.
Okay.
I mean, it's still interesting to me, but I just haven't pursued the how-tos because my line journals are doing great. So I don't want to stop
Yeah.
what's not what's working.
Yeah.
So
There's no I think that's actually maybe a additional work compared to just the line journals.
until my list of ideas runs out, I'm going to stick with this for now.
Yeah. So that's cool. So you can do journals. You could do what, notebooks.
Notebooks, back to school's coming before we know it.
Back to school.
You know, anything. I mean, the list goes on and on. So,
I did notice that when I was doing them, like they give like in Createspace, the actual website, like it gives you an option to make like, I don't know, was it like 12 different sizes, or is there more than that, like 15 different sizes of books?
there's quite a few. And then on the second page of all the page sizes, it gives you the option for a customized size.
Oh
So
wow.
within a few boundaries, I have never used that before. So the possibilities for sizes are pretty
Would you say
limitless.
would you say like the someone starting out, like what size should they stick with? Should they stick with like 8 by 5 by 11, or I know the default size is 6 by 9. Is that probably like the standard size for journals or books or?
That's what I've been doing is
Mhm.
typically 6 by 9. However, if your audience needs something bigger, for example, if you're doing a notebook for kindergartners, they might not be able to use a 6 by 9 as well as a bigger book. So
Oh, okay,
you might
yeah.
want to take that into consideration as well. But if you're in the business of just having a lot of journals uploading, make sure they're quality, of course. 6 by 9 just saves you an extra step of having to choose something else. And
Okay.
plus, you can keep that template in your documents and just use it over and over.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. I actually started like a Google Docs, and then I actually kind of created like a little format of description and keywords and stuff. So like I'll just
Yep.
go through there and like copy and paste pretty much onto
Yep.
CreateSpace. So
for sure.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. And so instead of me like going, oh man, I gotta retype all this same, it's pretty much the same description I was doing anyways for each one. I was like, let me just create one and then I'll copy and paste it and stuff. It made the process kind of streamlined. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Once you can get a process down, it's pretty much auto, you can watch Hulu or YouTube catch up on your shows while you're uploading journals too. So,
Yeah, totally. I do that all the time. I
yeah.
always like to have two things on at once, trying to
Yep.
upload and stuff. And
Yep.
so let me see what else was going to talk about. Um yeah, and actually when I was making my I was trying to use my merch shirts to make use them as the cover designs, but when I was trying to upload them right away, it wasn't taking my PNG. So I was like, oh, well, it has to be a JPEG or like a TIFF. So
Mm.
yeah, I was like, oh, that was like a thing, like kind of a learning curve for me when I started. So
Yeah, it's a great business because it's just learning by doing. I mean, Createspace, you can break it, but if you
Mhm.
just go in and do stuff, you can learn a lot. So, and just learn by your mistakes.
And how long have you been on Createspace?
Well, with journals, I uploaded my first one January of 2016. But before then, I did like the whole Kindle thing. I put some of those on CreateSpace. So maybe
Okay.
a year prior to that, a year,
Okay.
year and a half.
And
So
how many blank or low content books do you have now currently on CreateSpace?
on CreateSpace, 4,800.
Okay.
And then I'm also on KDP Print. So, but if you're just starting out, start with CreateSpace.
Okay.
So,
And
yeah,
what is KDP print?
it's pretty much, if you're on the Kindle side of the
Hmm.
business,
Oh, okay.
it's just a paperback option that they give you. Um,
I got
there's
you.
a few benefits over there, and it's pretty much just a different income stream, but it's still in beta. So,
Okay.
but I have a few hundred journals over there.
Okay. And how many uploads to the CreateSpace for these journals do you like to do, like a week, or how do you do them?
Ultimately, I would love to do 40 a day.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to hit that number for a while because other projects have been coming up. So, um, I'll see. Yeah, there's
Well,
so much opportunity with that and merch and pop socket, so it's hard to pick and
yeah.
choose. So I pretty much just wake up, try to touch each platform once a day, merch and create space, and what I'm in the mood for doing more, I'll just do that.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it
And
pretty simple and low stress.
yeah, okay. So like if you make one design, do you create it for merch first and then use it on CreateSpace, or do you do it for like CreateSpace and then make it for merch, or how would you do that?
Um, that's a good question. A lot of the designs I use just for CreateSpace are not suitable for probably merch.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, if I make a CreateSpace design, it's just for CreateSpace. And then when I make merch designs, I'm only really thinking of shirts. And
Okay.
then, maybe once or twice a month, I'll go through the shirts I made. And if I feel that I could put them on a cover, I will.
Okay.
So that's pretty much my process, but I kind of treat them independently, if that makes sense.
When someone's like first starting out in this CreateSpace, what maybe should like what's a good goal for them to try for? And does it take a long time for your shirts to be like, I mean, your books to be like indexed before they'll sell, or can they sell usually pretty immediately?
Well, for a beginner, I always stress learn the process. Don't get caught up on hearing I do 40 a day and think that you have to do 40 a day in your first week. No, learn the process, get a good system down, and for everyone's different. So if that means one a week for you the first month, do that. But learning the process at first will make you faster later on down the road. But
Okay.
on the flip side, make sure you push yourself to not be lazy and to still consistency and getting a system is probably the more important than anything. Um, what else did you say? I have a bad memory.
How long did it take when you put up your first book or your first books till you got to sell?
When I did my first book, January of 2016, that was just a few days.
Wow.
And I've heard of people selling a book within a few hours, but typically, um, if they sell quickly, it's typically within the first few days for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so it's kind of cool.
And what are the royalties kind of like on this Createspace?
Depending on the number of pages that you do will depend on the royalty. But generally, roughly a little over $2 a book.
Okay.
So it's definitely a quantity game unless you get a book out there that hits big. So, yeah.
How many pages should like a normal journal be?
Mine vary between 100 and 120 pages. I do have some that are bigger, 365, for one page for the year.
Yeah.
So that's just a really specific niche though. But typically I keep it between 100, 120 per book.
Okay. So you can go in there and make some specific for like a whole year or like maybe 2019 or coming up or.
Yeah, there's so much out there. It can get very overwhelming, but you have to have a minimum of 24 pages. And I forget the maximum. So I've never tried above 368 or something. So maybe 400 or 500 is the max. I'm not so sure.
And do you have a book that you bought? Do you have one, or have you bought any of your journals before?
Yes, I've bought a few, not all 4,800. I'd be broke. Here's one.
Oh, cool.
So it's on one of my YouTube videos too. So it's just some lines inside, but I don't know if you can see it, but I love quotes.
What does the back look like?
Oh, it's just black with the barcode. And then I like to put, I don't know, I think it looks kind of cool if you just put like a solid color on the spine, but that's just my opinion. Takes a few extra seconds in Photoshop.
Is that a 8.5 by 11?
No. That's 6x9. So then I'll show another one. Here's a sketchbook. So, and then this is all blank. So.
Oh, wow. Those are really cool, man.
Thanks. Yeah.
I actually like quotes too. So I actually put up a couple of quote books. So hopefully that'll come out good.
Q4 will be here before we know it. I saw one of yours.
Yeah. I posted one of mine. Actually posted. I just started the Createspace University just because like there's been so much interest in it, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it. So I thought maybe I'll just start this and we'll just get some conversation going. It seems like everybody's beginners. I'm a beginner. There's some new beginners, so it's good. To get some. And then there's some veterans in there who have made books, a lot of books. So I mean, you have 4,600, and somebody else I know has like 30,000. So
isn't that insane?
So I mean, there's people who have already joined that can give some advice and stuff, and so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I really believe there's enough opportunity for everybody if you want it. So
yeah,
for sure.
And I know you recently created a course, right, to help people out and kind of help like jumpstart people, right?
I did. It's a short and to the point course. It's starting from square one. If you've never published on Createspace, it's just a concise format to get your first book up and into the market. I was thinking about it for like 6 months to a year, and I was like, no, I don't want this. I'll just keep it to myself. And then I'm like, no, it'll help some people. So if people just make, $100 a month could probably be a lot of money to a lot of people. So I felt like I had to make this course to help more people out. So that's what I did.
That's pretty good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. What, if you don't mind sharing, like, what are your numbers like when you started? Like, when you first started, how much were you making like in the beginning, in the first months and stuff?
The first months, I really never looked at it, to be honest.
Wow.
It does start slow. The very first month, 2016, I don't think from January to December, I only put up 500 books. And I know it wasn't until Q4 of 2016 that I hit $1,000 a month.
Okay.
So it does take time. I'm averaging roughly 6,000 a month right now.
Okay.
And then my big month was December of 2017, which just on CreateSpace, that was over 17,000.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's
So that
awesome.
was kind of crazy. So
That is crazy.
yeah.
Oh man. So I mean, so that's awesome that there's potential out there. You just get your books out there and you know.
I mean, I never want to mislead anyone. It is so much hard work. I definitely worked my butt off to get those
Yeah,
numbers.
totally.
And it's not a get rich quick, which I think is good because you don't want to be in a get rich quick business.
Yeah. And there's no tiers in CreateSpace, right?
As of right now, there's no tiers in CreateSpace. No.
And
If you want to upload 2,000 books a day, go on with your bad self and upload 2,000 books a day. Good luck, because your brain might be mush at the end of the night, but go on with your bad
wow.
self. So
And
yeah.
they don't remove them after 90 days or 180 days, do they?
No, and the reason is it's associated with an ISBN number, which is like the UPC code for a book. And those are just permanently stayed with your book. So yeah. I mean, Amazon may, after like 3 years with no sales, be like, really? And like kind of not show it much, but it's crazy because I'll look at my sales reports and I see this title that sold and I'm like, when did I make that? And I'll go back and it was a book I made like 6-8 months ago.
Oh wow, that's
So
cool.
yeah.
So that I think that would be a big interest for people who are starting print on demand. That there's no tiers. You can upload 2,000 a day if you wanted, and and they're not going to be taken down. And so, man, that's crazy.
And I heard I don't know who said this, and I don't want to say the wrong person's name, but with a t-shirt, I don't know about you, but I can wear a t-shirt for like 3 years. Maybe I'm weird, I don't know. But with a notebook, people run out of pages. So they're always going to want to buy more. So,
and especially if they like that same notebook and cover, maybe they'll get some repeat customers, So.
Or tell their friends, yeah, which is why I tell people not to rush. You want to put out good stuff so you can get repeat customers.
What would you say, what's like one book how many has one book at least sold like a lot of, like a number? Like, have you sold 100 of one book?
Oh yeah, I've sold 100 of one book in one day.
Oh wow, okay.
So there are bulk orders that come through from time to time, and when they do come, it is a surprise. We just finished up graduation. That was a huge month in May. I think my top selling graduation book sold a couple hundred copies.
Okay.
And then around Q4, I think my top book sold 600 or 700 copies in December. Wow. So yeah. I have a lot of quantity, but typically my top 10 books each month are a good number.
Can you take one book cover and, you know how in merch you could upload it to like a standard or premium hoodie? Can you do that with like different sizes? Can you make it like a 6x9 with this cover and then an 8x11, the same cover, or no?
You can. Personal preferences, I don't like to because I think it clutters up the marketplace.
Gotcha.
But I have that same opinion in merch, and I know lots of people don't share that opinion either.
Yeah.
I'd rather personally spend my time creating new design covers because there's so many ideas out there. And unlike merch, where you can, for most of the products, you can use the same size, it's not the same way in CreateSpace. It takes a little bit longer to make other covers.
And is it better to make them more simple or more like intricate, like the designs? I saw yours are pretty, they said they didn't seem too complicated to make,
Simple sells,
Simple sells, yeah.
I think so. I've made a few complex interiors that take me a couple days to make. They don't sell as well. And I'm like, why am I putting all my time in the complex stuff when I can just take my lines, put something simple on the cover and go on with myself.
Wow.
I mean, I have some friends in the business who are graphic designers who do take their time and are quite profitable, but you just got to find out what works for you and what you enjoy.
Yeah. And actually, since I already posted this in CreateSpace and actually in Merch University, I created like like a prayer journal, and I had like flowers on it. And the only reason I did it is because I think I was somewhere at a store and I saw like kind of like a religion journal type prayer book, and it had like a lot of these flowers on it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make one of those, and so I made one of
I
those.
thought it was nice. I don't think I have any prayer journals, but they do. I
Yeah.
think prayer journals are pretty popular.
Yeah, I was actually I wasn't even at a like a religious store or a Christian store. It was just like a Walmart or something, and I'm like, man, those are like all sold out. There's like one left, and compared to all the other ones that were full, I'm like, I might have to, make this. So I just went decided to
See,
go.
ideas are everywhere. It's sold
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
big hint. So cool.
yeah. I'm like, oh, these are sold out at the store. So hey, how about I make one online? So let's see. So
Yeah, good job.
yeah. So, but there's tons of ideas that I want to make other journals and stuff. So yeah, so I'm excited for this opportunity and just to jump in and start, so
Oh, it's massive. And, I always tell people just start, if you have no cover design experience, there's always Cover Creator. There's everything. Just start.
yeah. I had a friend, I told him about it, and he was like, how do you make the covers? I'm like, I was like, they have like a cover creator on there already. I was like, why don't you just use that for like your first one so you can kind of just jump in and start? And he was like, okay. And so
Yeah.
he actually sent it to me, something that, because on the cover creator, they already have images you can pick from, and
Hmm.
different little things that you can change here and there. And I was like, hey, these are decent if you just wanted to jump in, if you didn't want to worry about creating your own design and then importing it and stuff. So
Yeah, it can get very overwhelming. So just keep it simple. And, I have said the Cover Creator stuff can look like an abomination from time to time. However, simple sells, and those types of things can sell. Don't purposely make crap, but I mean,
yeah.
it doesn't have to be beautiful flowing flowers everywhere. So yeah.
And on the quotes that you use, are they just ones you're making up, or are you getting them from somewhere? How does that work with, like, I know not to use trademark stuff on there, but I mean, how does that kind of work, with Merge compared to CreateSpace?
With Createspace, there's not as many trademarks on books. I only know
Mm,
one off the top of my head. Bullet Journal is trademarked. Um, but as far as quotes, like my whole trust the process, enjoy the journey, I don't know where I got that from, but I typically just Google it up and see if
hmm.
it's a famous quote from someone.
Okay.
And if it's not, I just use it. But
Okay.
I don't have a ton of positive quotes in my journals that
Yeah,
I
I
don't
got you.
I don't think famous people have said.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. And that
yeah.
one's kind of, like a positive one anyways, just kind of like you would hear, so
Yeah,
that's
like an affirmation.
yeah,
So
yeah, affirmation. So
yeah. So yeah.
that's cool. I'm excited for the opportunity, and yeah, just to try this out and get people, a part of it and stuff. So
Yeah, I'm excited that people, want to hop in and do it. And it's just another stream of revenue before the holiday madness hits.
yeah, and I'll make sure to place the link to Kelly's course below. And where else can people find you if they want to talk to you?
Sure, I do have a YouTube channel, Kelli Publish. That's Kelly with an I. I do have social media, Instagram and Twitter, Kelli Publish, or you can shoot me an email at hello@kellipublish.com.
All right. So hopefully, if you guys have any questions, you can get a hold of Kelly, and she can answer your questions. And hopefully, she'll be talking in our CreateSpace University group and sharing some info for us.
Yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, probably that group is the best place to leave it so more than just one person can learn. Because if you have the question, I'm sure someone else does too.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. And thank you for joining us on this show today.
Thank you, guys.